Okay, you guys, welcome to the first demo. So this is the assignment that we're going to work on today. In the classroom, this takes the full morning. So we spend about 4 hours and a half with a break in the middle, and we work on this drawing. So this is going to teach us a whole lot of different things. We're going to learn about value scale. We're going to learn about using our pencils, our erasers, our sharpeners. We're going to learn about why we have different drawing pencils. And I'm going to talk you through all of that here. I'm going to break this up into multiple videos so that they're not too long and so that you'll be able to go back and find what you need. Okay, now don't worry if you've never done anything like this before, because I'm going to talk you through it step by step. But if you have done something like this before, that's great. This might even be quite familiar to some of you if you've done a lot of drawing practice before. Now, what we're going to do is start out by doing our value scale, which is this section up here. I want you guys to notice that when I laid all this out on the paper, I did not go all the way to the edge, okay? I went in a little bit, probably about, let me find my ruler. I went about 3/4 of an inch in on each side, okay? Just to give you an idea. Throughout this class, we're going to be talking a ton about layouts. Layouts are really important. A good layout will make or break the professionalism of your work. So we want to really be thoughtful about how we organize things on the page. This one, I think, has a pretty good, pretty balanced layout. I will show you a different demo I did a different semester that I don't think was successful. This is from a different semester, and if you look at it, you'll notice how close this cone comes to the edge of the paper. I wish I had scooted that in a little bit. Okay, so those are the kind of things we're going to talk about today. But let's get started with our value scale. So you're going to take your drawing paper, and this is mine. Whatever brand you have is fine. It could be drawing paper, it could be sketch paper, but as we discussed in yesterday's video about the supplies, you need 14 by 17 drawing or sketch paper, and it must be 14 by 17. That is absolutely non-negotiable. We're going to use that for everything in here, and we need that nice big page. Okay, I'm going to lay out my value scale. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to come in and let me just bring myself down and in a little bit, about 3/4 of an inch in each direction, and I'll go ahead and go, let me scoot it just like this so that I can start counting here. What we need is a 1 by 6. Let me double check. Yeah, 1 by 6 rectangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1 by 6. And I'm just going to mark the inches in here so that I can see them. Now, watch how I handle my ruler. A lot of the assignments in here require using the ruler, and I'm going to try to teach you little tricks so that you can use your ruler like a pattern maker does. Because in about 6 months, you're going to be taking pattern making classes, and hopefully the things you learn in this class are going to be helpful. So I need to draw the bottom edge of this 1 by 6 rectangle. I'm going to slide my ruler down, and I'm going to go ahead and draw the bottom line. Okay, I know that I'm 1 inch away because my previous line is on the middle 1 inch line of the ruler. Got it? So there's my 2 lines. I can now go ahead and divide this up into squares. Okay, and there's my last one. All right, now that's for the step-by-step gradient. I'm also going to do a smooth, kind of an ombre gradient from light to dark. So for that one, I want another rectangle, but I'm not going to divide it up into squares. So let me take my ruler. I'll go about 1/2 inch away just to give us a nice amount of space. Go ahead and go 6 inches. Slide your ruler down. Draw the bottom edge of that rectangle. And then I can close up the right side, close up the left side, and we're ready to start filling it in. Let me take a second and adjust my camera so that I can get nice and close over this so you guys can get a good view here. Okay, so you're going to see me moving my paper all over the place. I'm going to turn it, I'm going to rotate it. I need to make the paper, you know, accommodate my hand because I like to draw certain ways. You'll find for yourself that you're more comfortable drawing in certain ways. And you just want to be aware of that so that you're not like doing something that feels awkward for your hands. Now I've got my 3 drawing pencils here. I've got my HB, I've got my 2B, and I've got my 4B, okay? HB, let me actually draw a little scale for you guys. Let me write it on something. HB, for our purposes, is fairly hard. H stands for hard, okay? As we go this direction, we've got B, 2B, 3B, 4B, and it keeps going. As we go this direction, we have H, 2H, 3H, okay? We don't use those in drawing class. That would be more for like architectural layout. What we're going to use is your HB, your 2B, and your 4B. So of the 3 pencils that we have, you've got a middle of the road, you've got slightly more black, B stands for black, and you've got even more black, okay? So as we go this direction on the scale, your pencils get softer and they get darker. And as we go this direction on the scale, your pencils get lighter and they get harder. And you're going to get really comfortable with this because we're going to be using these pencils a lot. Now, you can see on our finished value scale that this is really, really dark. This is as dark as I can get. And I used a 4B for this exclusively because I need it to be super, super dark. This is my lightest square. I need it to be light, so I'm going to use my lightest pencil, which is my HB. In the middle, I've got a 2B, and then here I used a combination of HB and 2B, and here I used a combination of 2B and 4B. Okay, so that way I'm working my way from light all the way through to dark. Now, do I have to do it exactly like this? Absolutely not. But it gives you an idea of why we've got these different pencils and how they can be used. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my 4B, and I'm going to come right down here with my very last square, and I'm going to go ahead and start filling it in. Now, I'm pressing very hard. I can press really as hard as possible. This needs to be as dark as I can get it. So you don't have any fear about going too dark. There's no such thing because we're going to do a value scale. This is the darkest value. If you want to hold your pencil this way, that is fantastic. As we do more drawing, I will be encouraging you to turn your pencil sideways. But if it's not comfortable for you yet, don't worry. Let me scoop myself over here. Okay. So this one's going to get just fully darkened in. When I grade these, I'm looking for neatness. I'm looking for all your shadows and your highlights to be placed in the correct location, which we'll be talking about. I'm looking for the instructions to be followed, like for example, putting these 2 rectangles in from the edge of the paper, and basically that the instructions in general are followed. Okay, so there's my first one, nice and dark, super, super dark. Okay, now I'll go ahead and take my HB, sharpen it up, so we have a nice sharp point. And I'm going to try to fill in this one as light as possible. This is going to stay the white of the paper. I'm actually going to number these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So for box number 2, I'm going to draw as lightly as I possibly can with my lightest pencil to try to evenly fill this in. Now you can turn your paper sideways, you can crisscross over, you can do whatever feels natural to you, but we want to make sure that we're doing it neatly so that when we're done, the entire box is filled in the same amount everywhere. It doesn't look blotchy. I have to turn it. You'll notice how much I turn my paper. I really have to keep rotating it in order to keep it even. Okay, if you feel like you've gone a little too dark, what you can do is take your kneaded eraser. They look like a brick when you first buy them, and you can take it and you can warm it up, and you can actually blot it up. You can pull up some of that pencil lead if you need to, okay? Okay, so I've got 2, I've got 6. I'm gonna do the one in the middle. For that one, I'll go ahead and use a 2B. But between your combinations of pencils and between the amount of pressure you put using your hands, that's how you're gonna get this variation of value. Now, let me pause for a second because I keep using this word value, and I don't know if you guys know what value means. I'm gonna be saying value a lot during the 8 weeks of this class. Value is the lightness or darkness of something, okay? So it can be black and white, grayscale, but it can also be a color. We can have light red, dark red, okay? But the lightness or the darkness, that's talking about the value of that color. Value is really important. We're gonna learn more about that later in the class. Okay. All right, we'll start there. Okay, so I've got now these ones to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to fill in this one, making it halfway in between. I'm gonna start with, let me start with my 4B. It doesn't matter that much, guys, but if you wanna be nerdy about this, we can start with our 4B. And I'm gonna go over it with a layer of 2B. And we have to make sure that it's clear that this is darker than the one next to it, and that it's lighter than the one on the other side. If you're doing this and you're not sure if you've got it, take a step back and squint at it, and you're gonna pretty quickly know whether it's too light or too dark. Okay, let me pause and just neaten it up. Okay, so this is too messy right here. I don't like that. Let me see if I can clean up that little corner. And I'll come back in and I'll see if I can make that a little neater. There we go. And now, if you take a harder pencil over a softer pencil, so I'll take a 2B over a 4B, that's actually a really good way to blend that pencil lead. So I'm gonna just put a layer of 2B over the top here. Okay, and that's pretty good. I think that's probably pretty good. If anything, I think this might be a little too light. So what I'm gonna do is fill in this one, and then I'll step back and I'll see if I can work my way until it becomes nice and even. Okay, so I think you guys get the idea here. I'm probably gonna pause on this because this video is already 13 minutes long, and move on to the one below me, okay? It's hard for me to stop. I can't. I'm like compelled. I'm like compelled to draw if it's in front of me. Okay, but anyway, you get the idea. Make it neat, make it tidy, make it step by step so that when you're done with it, if you squint at it, here's a finished one, you can see that it's steps, 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 and each one is different from the one before it, and there's no two that are too close together, okay? Next, we're gonna do the like smooth value transition. So what we want is for this edge to be as dark as box 6, for this edge to be the white of the paper, and then for everything else to be in line with what's above it. Okay, and we're just gonna work our way along. I'll demo a little bit of this, but chances are you guys get it, and it's just a matter of doing it. So let me start with and again, I'm rotating my paper. I need to talk with you guys about the tabletop you're working on also, but I think I'm gonna say that at the beginning of the next video so that everybody hears me, because I'm not sure if people are focused right now as we're getting towards the end of this first demo recording. Okay, so here's my end of the value gradient. I'm pressing really, really hard with the 4B pencil, and I'm gonna just bring it on down, and I'm using my hand to lessen the pressure as I go, okay? And what I'll do then is I can take my 2B and I can start layering that over the top until I work my way further along, okay? What we want to see at the end of this is that it's nice and smooth and that it's in line with what's above it. And what I mean by that is that my darkness level here should be pretty similar to what's on the step-by-step gradient above it. And then at the end, take a minute, polish it up. Be careful, especially if you're a lefty, that you don't put your hand too much in it. You may want to put like a piece of paper of some sort to help you keep from putting your hand in your work. That'll definitely be nice to try to keep it clean. Although at the end, you can always come in and just clean things up with an eraser. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this video with one final look at a finished one so you know what we're trying to achieve here. And I will make a mention here because I'm sure some of you guys are curious about blending tools. If you want to try blending with a blending tool, oh my gosh, where are my blending tools? Here we go. If you want to try blending with a blending tool, this is a tortillon. You might also even have a Q-tip or something. You can use this to blend, but I want you guys to test it on something before you do it on your drawing, okay? I'm about to ruin my drawing. Are you ready? Are you ready for me to ruin my drawing? I'm gonna take my tortillon and I'm gonna rub it over my value scale. And can you see how it made it darker? So if you're going to use these, they're wonderful, but you got to commit to using it for the entire thing. You can't just use it in certain spots and not others. Okay, so be really careful with this. But you can certainly use those if you have them. Okay, let me go ahead and end this video. And the next video, we're going to pick up where we left off by laying out our shapes. I'll end it with a nice screenshot of the finished gradient and step-by-step value scale.